You're watching the big story on Mirror now. I'm Amita Balachandra. Let's take a look at the top headlines. Trustee and a nursery school teacher of an international school in Mumbai charged for rape and sodomy of a 3-year-old. Is no place safe for our children? That's a question we're asking. 23-year-old woman allegedly gang raped by 3 men in an auto rickshaw close to the Delhi Gurugram Expressway. Her 9-month-old daughter brutally murdered. Mob justice in Bihar. 2 youths hanged upside down and beaten up for allegedly stealing 5 chairs from a marriage procession on Saturday. Violence at farmers' protest in Madhya Pradesh. 2 protesters killed after police allegedly opened fire. Chennai stares at an acute water crisis. Only 12 days of water left for the city's residents as reservoirs dry up. 10,000 doctors finally call off their strike in the national capital as Indian Medical Association calls for a one-day bandh demanding better security. UP CM's visit prompts Allahabad hospital to place air coolers for patients. Now, coolers were taken away in rickshaws after he leaves. Straight up to a big story on Mirror now. Feeding pigeons has been a long-standing tradition in Mumbai that houses 2 prominent pigeon parks, Kabutarkhana and Gateway of India. But things aren't all that simple with these winged creatures. Now, 2 years ago, Jayashree died because of an infection from pigeon droppings, and serious health concerns and health implications are contracted from these winged creatures. That's what a study also says. Be it the space under flyers, balconies, society and even roads, pigeons find a way to enter even the smallest spaces and make their nest to lay their eggs. Now, it's just a matter of time before the space is full of droppings as well. Several residents of Neelkamal Cooperative Society in Borivali say that they have been victims of ill health for the last 8 years since the Kabutarkhana came up close to their homes. My colleague Aditya gets us more details.
In many cultures, pigeons are associated with good fortune. But on the other hand, pigeons dropping may cause several airborne fungal diseases such as asthma, lung infection and even high fever. Mostly the senior citizens and the children get affected by this. Major complaints have come across India, and this needs to be fixed soon. The government should take preventive measures and make the citizens aware, because feeding the pigeons may not be good for the health of citizens. Aditya Tiwari, Mirror Now, Mumbai.
अभी ये मेरा ही लड़का है जिसको स्किन का प्रॉब्लम हुआ है कि उसको वर्म्स जैसे गोल गोल सर्कल्स हो गए हैं। तो डॉक्टर से मैंने बहुत बार कंसल्ट किया, स्किन डॉक्टर को भी बताया, स्पेशलिस्ट से भी बात किया, पर प्रॉब्लम ये है कि उसको जो इन्फेक्शन हुआ वो ख़त्म ही नहीं हो रहा है। कबूतर जब तक है तो वो तो प्रॉब्लम होने ही वाली है, सांस में भी प्रॉब्लम हो रही है। ऐसा नहीं कि मेरी बिल्डिंग में मुझे ही तकलीफ है, हर किसी को तकलीफ हो रही है।
One of my friend's mom got expired and we done the root cause analysis and when we spoke to the doctor, one of the reasons was the particles which come out from the pigeons. Time needs to be fixed. On those time only pigeon needs to be fed in order to save the pigeons and the animal as well as for the better health of the society members.
सांस की तकलीफ होती है, सर्दी खांसी कुछ ना कुछ रहता है, और जब बाद में छोटे डॉक्टर से तो पता भी नहीं चले, क्योंकि जब इसका रिपोर्ट निकालते हैं तभी पता चलता है कि ये तकलीफ है। बीएमसी में भी कंप्लेंट की है, महापौर को भी लेटर भेजा है और कमिश्नर को भी लेटर भेजा है।
वो कुछ तकलीफ होगा तो डाल भी सकेगा, पानी की जरूरत तो पानी भी पिलाएगा, कुछ भी जरूरत तकलीफ है तो कर सकते हैं, सेवा अपने को हो सकती है, वो हमारे धर्म में।
मालूम है कि जो कबूतर हैं उससे आपको लंग इन्फेक्शन, अस्थमा हो सकता है।
हाँ
मालूम है?
हाँ।
फिर भी आप डालते हो?
हाँ डालते हैं।
क्यों?
मेरे अंकल कहते हैं डाल दिया करो।
Because of these pigeons, mainly is the fungal infection that is spreading all over Mumbai because of pigeons. It affects our respiratory system. Mainly the patients affected are the HIV or immunocompromised patients, we can say. These are mostly affected patients. Main symptoms are the high-grade fever, chest pain, respiratory problems, breathlessness. These are the main symptoms or signs we can see in the patients. Government should definitely take awareness program because it is a public disease, I can say, because pigeons are not anybody's home. They are in area only.
Now, here's a question we're asking on the big story. Are pigeons a health hazard? Should the government sensitize people about this? Is it actually a menace? In fact, Dr. Sanjeev Mehta, pulmonologist, joins us on the big story here. Dr. Mehta, tell us this at this point in time. Do you believe that pigeon droppings are actually a menace?
First of all, thank you for inviting me, and thank you also for taking up this very important issue. Completely and totally agree with you. Pigeon droppings, pigeon feathers are very hazardous to the lungs of our patients. I would just quickly tell you how they work. So, first of all, pigeon feathers and droppings can cause allergy. So, you could get itching in the eyes, congestion in the nose, irritation in the throat. All this can happen. The next is it can get worse and it can give rise to asthma. So this is a long-term chronic inflammation of the airways. Pigeons can also give rise to something that's extremely more dangerous, which is called hypersensitivity pneumonitis. Now, chronic hypersensitivity pneumonitis is a long-term damage of the lungs, and if it is not taken care in time, it can be permanent. People can actually then get lung fibrosis and die from it. Now, I know that's rare, but it is known to happen. A very common form of, and that's the fourth type, is infections in the lung. Now, infections in the lung can be fungal and they can be even bacterial like silicosis. So, pigeons in every form are very hazardous for the well-being of people around them.
Tell us this. You mentioned, of course, that itchiness in the eyes, irritation of nose, all of these things are symptoms for this. On a lighter note, how rampant is this across the city of Mumbai? Do you largely ask people if they live close to pigeons?
We do. Any patient who comes to us with this kind of long-standing cough, for which we don't have an obvious reason, we have to ask for it. And I think now every doctor knows that. We ask for it, we ask for blood tests that are associated with these kind of pigeon-related behaviors, and we do get it frequently. In fact, we had a patient, and I could hear earlier, one of your patients was talking about it. So I had this girl who after marriage suddenly developed asthma. And I asked her, she moved to a very nice place. The place was opposite a kabutar khana. And well, we had no choice. We had to tell her that this is going to be something that she'll have to learn to live with, or as a family, they could live to change, they could change the place. But yeah, it's common. Many times it's very hidden. So you could have these pigeons who are hiding or make a nest just on the air-conditioned areas. So you have an air conditioner, above that is a loft, and somewhere in between the pigeons make the nest. Now you imagine how dangerous it is. The pigeon is sitting on the air conditioning vent, all the muck comes down, gets through the air conditioning and gets sprayed and blasted into people's homes. Same can happen on coolers. So you get a concentrated blast of pigeon dust, spores, feathers. All of this is extremely harmful for your health. So,
a very good point made by Dr. Mehta there. Pigeon droppings and AC ducts, extremely bad combination. I was just coming to that, but also tell us this then. Who is more vulnerable to this? Would you believe that senior citizens or children perhaps are more vulnerable to the diseases you just mentioned, although rare?
I completely agree with you. The seniors are at risk, especially for infection. And you already have a weak lung when you have reached a certain age. Now, when you get an asthma attack or an infection, that can take you to hospital or even ICU. All of this can be very, very dangerous. My worry with children is that this is a long-term exposure. So if a child is exposed to very high levels of any toxin, I mean anyone, pigeon is just one of them, and we already have enough toxins in our air. When they are exposed to it for a long term, say maybe 5 years, 10 years, you imagine these lungs will become weak. These children will not have normal, healthy lungs. They will become respiratory cripples as they grow. I think it should be taken far more seriously. I understand it's an emotional issue. A lot of people have it for religious reasons. But we need to take the religion out of it. We need to take emotion out of it and understand that this is a real serious health problem.
Dr. Mehta, do stay with us now. We also have Sandeep.
I know people are going to say, oh, you know what?
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I'm missing a few words, so maybe I'm, talking over you, but I'm not able to.
Okay, Dr. Mehta, do stay with us. We also have Sandeep Deshpande, a cooperator of the area that we just mentioned, Neelkamal Cooperative Society in Borivali East, joining us. Sandeep Deshpande, former cooperator there. Sandeep Deshpande, tell us this at this point in time. A number of complaints that have come in from residents of Borivali East saying that this Kabutar Khana is a big problem, a big menace, and in fact one lady has even died because of this.
No, I think the Kabutar Khana has become a serious issue not only in Borivali but all over Mumbai. If you go to Dada where we stay, there is also one Kabutar Khana, and also many people are suffering from asthma and all these things, and the medical experts say that is because of this Kabutar Khana, this infection has been there. So I think, that is an emotional issue for the Jain community also, whether they have to shift the Kabutar Khana or not. But many of the Kabutar Khana are being increased. If you look at the number of Kabutar Khanas, if you go to in the year 1970 till today, the Kabutar Khanas are increasing because day by day people are feeding them, so more and more pigeons are coming there. So I think that issue has to be addressed, and as I don't know, but the earlier speaker was saying, one of the panelists was saying that the emotion has to be separated from the real facts, and a Kabutar Khana has to be shifted. It has to be curtailed, and we can even go for communication with the community, Jain community, though those persons are very emotional, attached with the Kabutar Khana. We have to convince them so that the quality of the life of the children also will improve.
All right, Sandeep Deshpande, do stay with us. Dr. Mehta, tell us this then. What is the solution for someone who's staying near a Kabutar Khana or has a lot of pigeons near their apartment? What is the solution at this point in time? What advice would you give them?
Sure. I think there are two ways. One is definitely education and making people aware. Your program will do a lot in that direction. The second is people should seek help, talk to their doctors, maybe chest specialists. And I would even right away on your channel offer that we are happy to do lung testing of all the people in that area and make them completely aware of their health status. So awareness, lung testing, talking to doctors, seeking early help. Now, as I told you, there could be two parts. It could be allergic, it could be infection. So, somebody has to give the right treatment, whether it's inhalers, anti-allergies, antibiotics. All of these will have to be done by a good specialist.
All right, Sandeep Deshpande, tell us this. In this particular case, you said, of course, that this is a problem that is there across the city of Mumbai, and Dr. Mehta agrees as well. But tell us this. In this particular case, residents have, time and again complained to the BMC, to their cooperator, but nothing has happened.
No, I think the BMC should take a prompt action against them. And if the more people, even the small children, are getting infection because of the Kabutar Khana, they should be affected immediately. There should not be any argument about it.
No, but here in this case, residents have complained and nothing has happened. So what would you suggest in that case?
I think the particular corporator of that particular area, he should raise their voice in the houses, and he should also he should give a representation to the commissioner, and some medical papers should be along with it produced to the commissioner, so that because the health of the people is the primary concern, should be the primary concern of BMC, not the Kabutar Khana.
Okay, Dr. Mehta, then answer this question now. This is another, this is another point that a lot of doctors are making at this point. They say that the pigeon droppings are also leading to a condition called hypersensitivity pneumonitis. Do you believe that as well?
Yes, that's the point I had mentioned. That was the fourth condition I had mentioned when I started at the beginning. Hypersensitivity pneumonitis is a very dangerous condition. When toxins enter the lung, they cause an inflammation which becomes permanent. Unlike asthma, which is temporary, hypersensitivity pneumonitis is permanent. It has three forms: acute, subacute, and chronic. The chronic hypersensitivity pneumonitis results in fibrosis of the lung, which, as you may have heard, is a complete destruction of the lung, which happens in some cases. In the end, treatments are very difficult and leading to lung transplant. So it's a very serious problem. It is now the commonest interstitial lung disease in India. Not all of this is caused by pigeons. There are very other causes, but it is the commonest ILD. We just did the Indian ILD registry and it has shown that. So it is a dangerous issue. It is a long-standing issue. It should be taken seriously. And I'm glad you bring it up to everybody's notice.
Also, now while we're talking about solutions and what citizens must do really, what about adult vaccination? What view would you hold there? Will that make any difference?
So adult vaccination is good. It has a different role. It is meant for people with chronic diseases. That will not help you for hypersensitivity pneumonitis. Any patient with serious or long-standing lung problems or any serious illness above the age of 55 and other healthy people above 65 have been advised to do lung vaccination. It will not prevent this, but it will prevent pneumonias and viral infections. So that is recommended, yeah.
Right, Dr. Mehta, do stay with us. We also have a resident of the area that we're talking about, the area which has this pigeon menace, and residents have been suffering for the last 8 years now. Yavnesh joins us on the phone line. Tell us what exactly is the problem, and have you approached the BMC, because this is a problem that's been going on for the last 8 years?
Sure. So first, the issue was encountered a couple of few time back when one of my friend's mom got expired due to lung disease, and when we did the deep root cause analysis and consulted the doctors, we came to know that pigeon particles and pigeon waste and dropping is one of the reasons why due to which her lung got her lungs was not working properly. After that, even one of my dad is suffering from the breathing related issues. So when we consulted the doctor, he said that the quality air as a polluted free environment is required in your surrounding. And we also given the complaints to the BMC, but I don't have a proper idea for its status. Committee members or the chairperson of the committee can provide you the proper status update for the same.
But do you plan on escalating this issue, considering it's been on for a while? You said that you have approached the BMC, and you also said that several people in the apartment you're staying at suffer from this problem.
Yeah, so mainly the small children and the senior citizens are encountering this problem, and we have approached the society. We have given the written complaint in the society as well, and the society's chairperson and the committee are talking to BMC, and accordingly they'll arrange one AGM, and what needs to be done over then the society will plan only.
In fact, Yavnesh, we have Dr. Mehta also on the show. So, Dr. Mehta, I want you to answer this question to Yavnesh. He is saying that a lot of senior citizens and children in his building are suffering from this problem, and the BMC is at this point shirking responsibility. They have gone ahead and met them, but the fact of the matter is they can't move the Kabutar Khana. What advice would you give to Yavnesh?
Okay, so very important. There are two ways to look at this. This is preventable and treatable. So one should have hope. Prevention, if you can't move the Kabutar Khana, then I tell my people that you can do a couple of things. One, we have started putting pigeon nets or bird nets outside your homes. So that way, at least in your own home, the birds will not be very close. Also, look at all your lofts. Look at the air conditioners which are outside your home. See that pigeons have not made nests over there. So these are some of the ways you can prevent it. The other way to prevent it is to use air conditioning, and especially if you use air conditioning which has got split ACs, make sure that your filters are cleaned, washed and maintained. That can minimize the amount of external dust and all the stuff that comes in, the pollution, the spores, the fungi, all of these can be minimized. So prevention is exceedingly important. If a person can, I would recommend doing regular lung testing if there are any coughs or respiratory symptoms. If a patient does become sick, then quickly go to your doctor. He or she will be able to decide what nature of treatment is to be given, whether it is going to be steroids or inhalers or antibiotics. The patient can get cured. If the condition is regular, then you need to look for more regular and long-term treatment. So prevention and treatment both are possible, and both should be done, especially in this environment.
Also, Dr. Mehta, there are reports suggesting that controlling the infection in birds itself would probably bring in some relief and will probably bring in the number of people who have lung diseases actually could probably go down. Do you also believe that?
I'm sure it does, but I have to honestly admit I'm not aware of how we're going to treat the birds. We have difficulty treating humans. Treating thousands of birds, I have to admit my ignorance. I don't know how we can treat thousands of birds. But if it can be done, good.
Okay, Yavnesh continues to stay with us. Yavnesh, tell us at this point in time, what do you, what are you going to do? Because you said that the BMC is not doing anything about this, and this problem has been on for the last 8 years.
Yeah, I didn't say that BMC is not taking any strict action, but yeah, there is some delays. Our society members are still approaching them. The main thing which what the community and the people reside in our society is thinking to, if we can find out some way out from
And Sandeep Deshpande, thank you so much for joining us here on The Big Story. But this is the big takeaway that we are getting to you here on Mirror Now, that pigeon droppings can actually be harmful. They are a health hazard, like Dr. Mehta said. And there are a number of, symptoms like itchy eyes, irritation of nose, fever, all of those things that you must not ignore, especially if you stay near a Kabutar Khana. Make sure you put up pigeon nets like the doctor was suggesting. Also, visit the nearest doctor and get help as soon as possible. With that, it's a wrap here on The Big Story on Mirror Now. Stay with us.